Thank you for tuning in to Gloves Off Seattle. Your hosts, Patti and Meagan, will be talking about all things Seattle women's hockey. A huge Pacific Northwest welcome to the PWHL. Gloves Off Seattle! Hello and welcome to another episode of Gloves Off Seattle!
Gloves Off Seattle.
Okay, so that's how you got into hockey. That's how you got into Montreal. Let's talk about who we want on our team next year. So we have not heard rules for the expansion draft yet. What's today? The 17th, May 17th?
Yes.
Okay, so May 17th, and we'll talk about playoffs too, because we did want to talk about that as well. But I want to talk about the expansion draft. What we think the rules are going to be, who we want to see come to us. I mean, all those things. Go.
I don't know what the rules are going to be, but the thing that I've been thinking the most about is goaltending. Because that's the thing.
I've been thinking about goaltending too.
But that's the one position where it's very clear to me, like, I think we know that they're only going to be able to protect one goalie.
I think that's clear.
Is that clear?
I think it's pretty clear.
I'm the hockey newbie here. Like you have to tell me.
I don't know why anyone would want to protect more than one goalie. Like you have your main goalie, there's the backup goalie. Unless your main goalie is like ready to retire, which I don't think anyone is ready to retire in this league at all.
What's her face is the rookie, the one who won yesterday.
Phillips.
Yes. She's amazing.
Yeah.
Welcome to the playoffs.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay, back up, Meagan.
Yes, but I think you're right. I think only one goalie will be protected. But the rules of protection, like,
help me understand. Help me understand what the rules of protection of NHL. When they did the expansion draft for Las Vegas, what did they do?
Oh gosh, I really blocked it from my head because the Ducks really did a bad job, and it's one of the reasons why Vegas is so good, really. But there's two ways to protect. Like you can protect so many players, or you can protect so many forwards and so many defensemen, or a total of all your players. And they all had clauses that, a protection clause, like a no trade clause, meant they had to be protected. So you had to use them. You had to count them in the in the protection.
So do we think any of the PWHL players have anything like that in their contract?
I don't know.
I would bet money that Poulin and Stacey have something written in their contract that they have to stay together. Like I can't imagine them signing and not saying we have to stay together. As a married couple.
I also don't think that Montreal would get rid of either.
No, I think they're going to protect.
They'll protect both of them.
I think they'll protect both of them, but I don't think anybody has to worry about them being split up because I think if it was me and I was playing a professional sport and we were playing together on a team, I'd be like, the only way you're going to get me is if we come together as a player.
I was watching some interview with them though, where it seemed like they didn't want to be a package deal.
Really?
Like I think that Stacey didn't want to be signed just because Poulin was.
Well, I understand that. I understand not being the person
once they're there.
But once they're there, like I don't know. I mean, maybe not. Maybe they'd be willing to be split up, but I think that would
they
be
probably
hard.
don't want.
Well,
I also don't want to say this, but I mean, two very good players on a team didn't get them very far in the playoffs.
Oh shoot, Patti.
No, that's valid. We can get into that.
I love them both.
No,
I do.
There's so many things to say about players that I think have already been said, but can we switch topics to this?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's talk about playoffs. We can come back to.
So I actually made a TikTok about this way before the playoffs even started because Montreal was on a winning streak. It was very clear that they were gonna make the playoffs, but the issue was that the team was pretty similar to the team last year.
Mm.
It has the same problems.
The team that got swept last year.
Yeah, they got swept last year, and their biggest issue was offensive depth. They did not have offensive depth. They're a very top-heavy team. They have the best goaltender in the league. They have the best goal scorer in the league. But you can't have a whole team just from that.
Well,
just from a top line.
And let's talk about the interview. They were interviewing one of their one of their other forwards in an intermission yesterday. And she said, "Oh no, my job is to get the puck to Stacey or Poulin."
Oh,
yeah. Like
I remember she was.
Was it Youngblom?
No.
Is she European?
Yeah,
I think it was.
Oh, maybe the one on that line.
Okay, maybe it was.
Yeah.
Yes, maybe it was because she was new to the line. They had done a switch. Okay, again, I'm the hockey newbie here, but long story short, like when that came out of her mouth, I was like, Oh, I don't know that I like the sound of that. Not that I'm saying like I get it, like they're their best scorers, but still like to basically make that everyone's objective is just to get them the puck. Like I feel like
But
that's not a good
When you have
strategy.
two
If you
players
have
like
to
that
win
on
on
the
your
line.
team, that is your job.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Okay.
that is also their downfall, though. You're
Right.
100% correct.
Yeah.
though.
Yeah. I'm like, you can't. I
But
just.
you also have to be good because you're going to get the puck to them and you're going to be open because they're going to have two defenders on Poulin every time. And so she's also going to be open. So she has to be good at the same time. It is get the puck to Poulin.
Okay.
And receive the puck from playing and score.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but you're right though.
I
That
mean,
is their fatal flaw.
I think that is their fatal flaw is that
Yeah.
they ride everything on the fact that they have the two best players in the league. And that's, I mean, not saying that again, because I just made the comment not very long ago that these are all elite players. All of them are amazing
Everyone
players.
down the line.
Everybody is a good player. And all the goalies are good too. Like that's the thing is like we were, you know, joking, not really, but like Carly Jackson being third string. It's like, yes, she's third string, but she's in the league, which means she's an amazing player. Like I don't even care. Like I'm like, if you are in the league, it means you are the best. Like end of story. So
Yeah.
anyway, so who do you want for a goaltender? If
So
you don't say CJ, we're done.
Oh,
I'm just
well,
kidding.
so I feel like there's a few candidates, right?
Okay.
So one thing that's really interesting to me is Minnesota. Are they going to protect Rooney or are they going to protect Hensley? Both of them are good. I feel like they're probably going to protect Hensley, but
Okay.
like Rooney could easily be a starter. So we
Yeah.
got her.
Uh-huh.
We got her to worry about. And then Mashmeyer in Ottawa, she was
Okay.
their number one before Phillips, and she got
Really?
injured. Yeah,
Oh,
Mashmeyer was
and
their
that's why I
number
feel
one.
like, okay, and that's why I feel
And they're
like-
going to ride Phillips. How can they not ride
They're
Phillips?
gonna ride
Is
Phillips.
is she healthy now?
Mashmeyer, I don't think
Mashmeyer?
she's healthy yet.
Okay.
But I'm expecting that she's going to be healthy by next season. But that's what's crazy though. Is like and Mashmeyer was good too.
Okay.
And she was their number one.
Okay.
So we got who did I say already?
You said
Rooney,
Rooney,
Mashmeyer,
Mashmeyer.
Chuly. Chuly was is the number 2 for Victoire.
Okay.
And she was well known from like the PHF. So Carly Jackson was actually the backup to Chuly
Okay.
in the PHF. So
Okay.
she's not a contender. And then here's the one I actually want to see is Peslarova.
Okay.
So do you guys know her?
No.
So basically, she was technically the third string for Boston. So nobody had ever seen her, right? I mean,
Right.
I had it from the P-Dub, but then she was the goaltender for Czechia. She was the goaltender for Czechia in the World
In the
Championships.
international, yeah.
Yeah. And then so they played a game against the U.S. where the U.S. was just shooting, and Petrova was like, no,
Nothing.
she was a brick wall. And eventually, like U.S. did win that game, but
Yeah.
that was like such an amazing performance for her that Boston said after because Frankel got injured in that tournament, right?
Yes.
They said, Peslarova, you going in. And she was good. So she's made a name for herself, and she's stated that she doesn't want to come back to the P-Dub if she can't get a starting job next year.
It's hard to be a backup goalie.
It's hard because she wants playing time. So
Yeah.
we have a lot of options here. I don't know if they're going to pick Peslarova over Rooney or Mashmeyer.
Yeah.
But like, that just speaks to like how many
Well, or if they're
good
players.
goaltenders
there's a bunch of, you know, or there might be somebody out there that's, you know, on the draft list that isn't playing right now
Right.
that they could get to. Yeah. I think that's the thing is like, I think I'm interested. And so we've said this a couple times and I'm going to say it again. The draft is June 24th, but they will have the expansion draft prior
Before
to.
that.
So, but we don't know when, and they have yet to, I mean, and I said it before that they're probably waiting for the playoffs to be done before they announce what the rules are. So people don't get in their heads about that stuff while they're in the playoffs. So, okay. What else can we talk about?
I can talk about my trip to Montreal.
Yes. That's, that should have been the highlight of all of this, but
Oh,
you got to see 2 playoff games.
Oh, yeah. I talked about my trip to Montreal, but I also went on another trip early this year. That's the one where I went to Detroit.
Okay. Let's,
So
what is it?
I don't know.
the takeover game.
Takeover game.
Yeah.
Takeover series.
So I went on a whole trip.
You saw the takeover. So let's talk about this. You saw the takeover game here.
Oh yeah. So first we saw the takeover game here in Seattle, and
we were there too.
Yeah,
We were there.
yeah. And they also did an open practice that weekend.
Oh yeah, we didn't go.
That was literally so fun. That was literally so
I
fun.
believe you. Yeah, we just unfortunately don't have time
Family
for
life.
everything.
Yeah. I just don't have a life.
You do have a
so-
life. It's hockey, and that's the best. life.
So yeah, I went to that, and then what was really awesome about that was I was waiting in line to get the signatures, and there was this other lady waiting too, and so I just started talking to her, and I was like, "Oh, I'm also gonna go to the Vancouver game," And she was like, yeah, I was thinking about going. And then I was like, no, you should totally go because like when are they gonna come out west again? Right?
Right.
You might as well go to Vancouver. So then went to the takeover game and then also went to the Vancouver game. And then when I was walking around, I saw the same lady. And she decided to come.
That's
Yes.
awesome.
So that was awesome. And then the Seattle game was so fun because I convinced like a bunch of my friends to go. So we had literally 10 seats.
Oh,
Like,
that's
rows of 5
awesome.
seats, club seats.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
It was good. And then the fact that it like went to OT. Also, Boston's my other favorite team. So it was Montreal and Boston.
Yes.
And literally when that schedule dropped, I was like, somebody's reading my tweets. Somebody's reading my tweets because I literally wanted this matchup. And then Vancouver with Toronto, Montreal, which I
Yeah.
also love as a matchup.
Yeah.
And then that was like
Was that at Rogers? Did they play at Rogers or
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
And they had to play the Canadian teams there. That's awesome.
Yeah. And that game was also crazy because I don't know if you guys know the lore, but I'll just tell you. But basically, so Poulin scored 2 goals that night.
Okay.
One of them was the one where she got from her belly.
Oh.
Have you seen that one?
Yes, I have.
Oh, it was so good.
You're not on TikTok
I know,
enough.
no.
Yeah, I'll send it to you later. But what was crazy was that it was literally like 15 years since the 2010 Olympics. Where
Okay.
She also scored 2
2
goals
goals.
in that same building.
I heard that. I did hear that. Yes.
I was like,
Yeah.
the script writers cooked. Because even before the game, I was like, yo, like, the script of this game is about to be crazy. Because I was like, I don't know what she's going to do. But I was like, she's about to lock in. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it was so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Mm.
But where they're playing in Vancouver isn't as big of an arena as Rogers. What is it? The
Pacific
Coliseum.
Coliseum.
Yeah,
Pacific
Pacific
Coliseum.
Coliseum.
Yeah. We looked it up because this is the whole thing.
They're the marquee team, but still.
Yeah, we had this whole discussion about because like the numbers, like they kept talking about like the numbers of all the cities, and we're like, okay, so like Vancouver, like they're gonna play in the Pacific Coliseum. Well, how many seats does it have? It's like what, 10,000? Is that what we
Something
something
around
like
there.
that, like 10,000 seats. So we're like, okay, so we started looking at ShoWare because we were fans of the minor league team that plays there, and so we were like, okay, how many seats does ShoWare have? Because maybe they'll do ShoWare and they could be the marquee team at ShoWare. Well, that's not what ended up having. They ended up doing Climate Pledge, but it'll be interesting to see because
Our logo's not going to be on the ice.
Mm-hmm. It's a tough position to be in. I think 10,000. Just so I've actually been thinking about this a lot. So I looked at. There's so many things at play, right? But
Yes.
it's like 10,000 for this league right now is a really good number.
No, 100%. I agree because some of the arenas that they play in are smaller. They don't even have 10,000
Yeah.
seats. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know why that intrigues me to know how many people show up and like how
Oh,
many
it
people are
intrigues me
there.
too.
So I'm always like, okay, how big is the arena? Like, it's full. Like, what does that mean? So I
Yeah.
always want to know what the numbers are. But so my wonderment is, since we're playing a Climate Pledge, like, are we going to fill it up? Like, are we going to be able? I mean, because
That's the thing. So there's so many things to talk about here.
okay.
First thing is
We're gonna have like 3 podcast episodes.
Yeah,
out there.
sorry.
No,
Like,
don't
cancel an
apologize.
the
episode.
Don't
first thing
apologize.
is how many seats do you have?
Yeah.
Do you want to be filling up this arena or do you just want to make sure you have enough seats? So that's the first thing. And so
Okay.
yeah, we're not realistically speaking where the league is at right now. No, we're not gonna be able to sell an NHL arena.
Right.
And that's okay.
Right.
But the second thing is, can people get to the arena? And that's where you're having issues in Boston
Okay.
because people like they don't play in Boston, play in Lowell,
Okay.
right? And so like obviously people with a car that live over there, but people from Boston can't necessarily get there, especially because Boston does have transit. So there could
Well,
be
that's
quite a
what
few
that
people.
when we first started talking, you were like, I'm so glad that they decided on Climate Pledge because you live in Seattle without a car, and so you can get there no problem. Whereas like us, we live in this. I mean, we can call ourselves the suburbs. We live, in a whole nother city, but like we have a car, so we can drive. It's not a
Right.
problem for us. So yeah, that
And
makes sense.
Obviously, I'm a crazy PWHL stan, so I'm willing to make long trips, right? Like I took over an hour to get here on public
She
transit.
did.
Right, I took the bus down to
She did.
Puyallup.
We love it.
Puyallup.
Puyallup. Good for yes.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, for people that are already fans of the league,
yes.
they're willing to make those trips.
Yeah.
But like,
New
I
fan.
think just having it where the Kraken play, people already know that.
Yeah, that's true.
People already know, oh, this is where the hockey is. People know how to get like.
Yeah, that's true. I know. I really want to see their logo on center ice. Like
Me too.
I just feel like
It's
I
gonna
don't
be hard
know.
to see the Kraken.
I know it's gonna be hard to see the Kraken
me.
logo.
Yeah, it is.
And not have them represented in the same way. But I mean, who knows? Who knows? Maybe they'll come up with some kind of cool.
So what I've seen in the TD Place, which is where Ottawa Charge plays,
Yeah.
right now they have the center ice logo, but even during normal season, they have the other team's logo 67,
Uh-huh.
69. Sorry, don't sue me, Ottawa. They have the other team's logo.
Who plays in
center ice.
Ottawa?
I don't know.
It's a junior team.
Oh, okay. I was like,
I think it's called the 67s or the
Senators, but no.
69s.
okay.
But they have their logo there, and then on the sides they have 2 Charge logos.
Oh,
Okay.
So
Still
they
on the
have a
outer.
way to share it.
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad about that, but we're still talking about an NHL team.
Right.
Yeah.
And that I just don't know that they're going to be willing to share. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I don't think they'll be willing to share. But the good thing is that our placeholder logo is the same color as Kraken.
Right.
So it won't jump out if they did do something of that nature.
That's true. That's true. Our placeholder logo
There it is.
that I'm wearing
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah. But I think it's so interesting to think about, like, where do you put the arena? That's why I brought up Kansas City Current, because
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you know about this.
I know nothing about Kansas. I grew up in Kansas City, guys. We haven't talked about this on the podcast at all. I grew up in Kansas City. You have to be a Chiefs and a Royals fan if you grew up in Kansas City. Like, there's no option, because that's the only sports there have been for a long time in the city. But there is now a soccer team. Okay, so tell me about the Current.
So that's a NWSL team. But the reason it was crazy was because they constructed a brand new
Stadium for them.
just for that team. That was the first time that they had constructed a brand new stadium for a women's pro team.
Wow.
And I'm not saying, like, it's not necessarily realistic for us to construct brand new stadiums for every single team, obviously.
Yeah.
So it's tough. Like, I know it can be done, and we're kind of getting to that phase where we could potentially do that.
Yeah.
Not right now, but for now we will have to share, because that's just
The
we're
way
limited
it
by
is.
the infrastructure.
Yeah.
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 Share with the storm too.
Yeah, with the storm
Yeah.
too. Yeah, but that, I mean, they cover up the ice.
Yeah. Oh no,
For the
I'm
storm
not
game.
talking about logos and stuff. I'm
Yeah.
talking about scheduling
Yes.
games and
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So
It'll
Yeah.
be interesting.
I don't think there should be too much overlap with Storm.
Well, no, because they're just starting now.
Because Storm is in the summer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the
Oh, that's
WNBA,
right. The
WNBA
WNBA is in the summer.
plays in the summertime.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
The only issue would be if they try to bring the Sonics back.
No.
And that literally people kept after Sonics back. I was like, no, don't
There-
sue
so-
me, Seattle.
so
I
this
was
is
like,
what-
I'd rather have Peter.
So this is what they're gonna do. If they bring the Sonics back, they're gonna build another arena that the basketball teams are gonna play in.
You think?
No, I don't know. I'm
Speculating.
speculating. I have no
I
idea.
don't know.
I don't know. Okay, so Detroit. We didn't talk about Detroit. So we talked about the
just
takeover.
rewind to that. So basically, it was a whole trip. So first place I went was Raleigh,
Oh, okay.
because my best friend from college lives in Raleigh,
Okay.
and I really needed an excuse to visit her. So
Hockey, why not?
exactly, and what was crazy about that was Charge versus Frost. So I saw the precursor, and it was right after Charge had beat Frost 8-3. So I was telling my friend, I'm like, "Yo, like the Charge is so good right now. Like they're gonna totally win. Like all this stuff." And then Frost beat them 5-0. It was actually, and everybody in that building was rooting for the Frost. But I told my friend, I'm like, "No, like we're rooting for the Charge." They embarrassed me so bad. They let me down so bad. I was like, this is literally so embarrassing.
Was
Sorry.
your friend a hockey fan?
No, she's a hockey fan. She says she's not a hockey fan, but I was like, you're a little bit of a hockey fan just by association.
That's right.
Like
that's right.
she said she had a lot of fun. She said she had more fun than at the Canes game. Sorry, Canes. But she said that was the most fun she ever had.
That's awesome.
So I went to see her, and then I went to New York. Because I have some friends that live in New York, because I went to college in New York.
Okay.
And then my best friend, who we both got into PWHL together. So when I was getting into PWHL, it wasn't just myself. Like I had another friend who was like, "Oh, I'm really into hockey. Getting really into PWHL," and I was like, "There's no way he's as obsessed with this as I am," because I could feel myself descending into madness. I was like, I'm literally like becoming too obsessed. But then he was like really obsessed with it too. I was like, no way. But unfortunately, he moved out of Seattle back to
Aw.
New York. But anyways, I got
Is
to
he a Sirens fan?
yeah. Well, he's actually a Charge fan.
Mm.
Oh.
That was his original team that he picked when we were just living in Seattle.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I went to the game with him and some other friends, which was really fun. And then, yeah, my first ever hockey game, PW game, I went to was in New York.
Okay.
But that was last year.
Okay.
So I'll tell that story later. Anyways, after that, then I went to Detroit, and then with my family to the takeover game.
Okay. And who
in
played
Detroit.
that one?
New York and Minnesota.
And that's you've got the Detroit.
Yeah,
separate,
and New York won that one.
Oh,
New York
awesome.
won that one. That was a good game for them.
Yeah.
Really good game.
That's awesome.
Cool.
So yeah, and there's so many things to talk about with those trips. That was just the highlights.
Okay. Well, tell us about the Montreal trip. I want to hear about the Montreal
Oh,
trip.
yeah. So anyways, so basically last month I had just got back from Thailand. So
Okay.
I was like really tired from that. And I was like, I had kind of wanted to go see the playoffs just because the playoffs were so good last year that I was like, this is the end of an era, right? This is the end of the original six era. And like, I really love Montreal because I went to visit Montreal last year. But last year when I went, Marie-Philippe was injured.
Oh no. So you
Yeah.
didn't get to see her play.
No.
Okay.
And I mean, it was still really fun.
Yeah.
But I was like, dang, I really want to see Marie-Philippe play Montreal, right? And
Yeah.
so I really wanted to go. So kind of spur of the moment, I actually decided to go because I was like, I'm gonna have regrets if I don't go, right?
Sure, absolutely.
Just as a fan.
And your whole thing, like you only live once. You gotta do
Exactly.
it.
Yeah.
So but also I was scarred from last year when they got swept in three. So I was like, I would need to go to game one and game two.
Okay.
So that's why I went to game one and game two.
But to see them in Montreal, like I agree
Yeah.
with you. Like to go see playoffs hockey is fun, but like to go see playoffs hockey then play at home,
Yes.
that's a whole nother thing.
And also like the takeover games are fun, but like that's not their home crowd.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
It's so different.
Yeah.
And it is cool to see the unique flavor of each city.
Yeah.
But I was like, I need to be in Montreal. So I went there. It was amazing. Like just meeting people.
Yeah.
It was so amazing. People are amazing.
I agree.
Like
Where were you sitting?
so I actually had kind of bad seats, but then I met this girl. Shout out Shani. And then she like knew me from Instagram and she was like, oh, like I'm a season ticket holder. And then like I had met these other people from LSTW, which is like a queer bag
Oh, okay.
based out of Montreal. They did one issue about women's hockey,
Oh, cool.
which is really awesome. So I got to connect with them. And so they were all sitting in like center ice behind the bench.
Nice.
So I got to go sit over there. Which
Was that the 4
really
overtime
nice.
game?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
She showed the.
I know, because I was like, oh yeah,
when
when
Yeah.
that was the best video ever.
No, I didn't even take that video. The girl
Oh.
sitting next to me took that video
Did
because
it?
my phone was dead.
Oh, that's right. You
Yeah.
said so.
It's a 17-hour game.
So my phone was literally dead. I was like,
Oh,
no.
that's funny. Yeah.
But no, it was amazing. And then like I also went to the Roses game, Montreal Roses,
Okay.
which is NSL,
Okay.
which is the new women's
The new soccer league.
soccer league in
Yeah.
Canada.
Yeah.
And I also went with some people I met online from hockey stuff, and that was amazing.
She's like hockey familying it up
Yeah.
left,
No,
right, and center.
exactly.
So,
And I was like, everybody was literally so nice.
yeah. Well, it's
People
funny-
were so freaking nice. It was amazing.
So, we've talked about Patty was a season ticket holder down in Anaheim for years. And like the people she knows, she traveled the country to go see the Ducks play. I mean, she like everywhere. And it's like, I'm just like, this is so weird. Like the people just like, they bond over the sport. But like now it's like, we're your friend because we met like online with the hockey. Like, I just think it's great. Like, I think it's one of those, and they're very cool. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to start this little community here in Seattle for our team.
It's what's even more crazy was that it wasn't just in Montreal, like even in Raleigh. Like I met this girl in Raleigh that we're like mutuals now. This girl who runs like P-Dub fan club. I met her in New York and in Montreal. I saw her in both places.
Wow. Yeah.
It's like
It's amazing.
the P-Dub fans are so committed. They're so committed.
But I also think they're very generous and kind. Like that's the thing. Is like,
Yeah.
We jokingly say like I'm new to social media. Just this account is new to social media. But it's like everyone who comes on our page, they're nice, they're fun, they're like throwing out, stats or information. And I just love it. Like it's a really good vibe. Like women's sports fans seem to be the best. So
yeah. And also even though we're passionate for our team, like I was talking to Charge fans at the Montreal game, right?
Listen, I've been to some NHL games where we were ridiculed. We had stuff thrown at us when we were visiting other buildings.
Well, so I was
it's
like,
not always like this. So this is a special thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. There were some buildings that we had a great time and people were very nice. And for the most part, people are very nice. But I think this is really special in the PWHL.
yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
Like there seems to be a lot of respect between teams and between fan bases. Like even when they get into rough stuff and fight, it's like they're not actually like that at the end of the day they're gonna shake hands. It's all love.
Yeah.
That's part of the game, right?
I just think it's funny when they skate away and they're laughing. Like,
Yes,
I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, you just beat each other up and you're laughing. Like, okay, yeah. But no, I agree. And I think
Hockey's fun, right?
Hockey's fun.
fun.
Yeah, hockey is fun. No, I think that it seems to me like for the most part that like the players are all like and they've all played together. Like whether that be on international teams or whatever Olympic teams, they've all played together previously. So. It's really cool. It's a really cool thing.
Oh, so excited.
Yeah, we cannot wait. We cannot wait
I'm-
until.
Really excited for Seattle, for the PWHL Seattle community, but one thing I'm nervous about is that I'm still pretty new to like being an in-person hockey fan. So I'm excited to see how that community develops because, for example, like in Ottawa, they have like a whole thing called Red Scarf Union, like a whole fan club.
Yes, I've seen this. I'm like,
Yeah.
what is this Red Scarf Union?
Yeah. And I'm like, we need something like that
We
in
do.
Seattle.
Agreed.
But I'm like, I don't know if I should be the one to organize it because like I don't know if I have all the tools to organize that.
So I will say this, like, I think that we are growing, and this is, we'll put a call out to anybody who wants to, think about this, talk about this. Like, I think that this is the ground level right here, like right where we're at. So I wanted to shout out to Women's Pro Hockey Seattle. They're, one of the people that
Zoe, love you.
Yeah, Zoe, the founder, like the fact that they got the team here, like I know the work they did was tireless for years to get the team here. And it's just like we have this passionate fan base already. So I think we just now need to figure out how to organize and get together. One of the things I know that we'll do once the games start up is, we'll go, we'll be there early, we'll go for warm-ups, like we like to do that kind of thing and just hang out before the game actually starts. So I know that there'll be a whole community of people there just enjoying the game together.
Absolutely.
So
We have
yeah,
to come together.
we do have to come together.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to find out where our seats are going to be. That's what we
Yes.
really want to know.
Yeah. I didn't know where I'm gonna sit.
You don't know where you're going to sit?
No, I really did like where I was sitting in Montreal, but I feel like I'm still not 100% familiar with Climate Pledge enough to know, oh, I definitely want to sit here.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
felt like my seats for Takeover Tour were a little. I struggle sometimes because it's like I want to be close, but then sometimes if I'm too close, then I can't see the whole ice. You can't win.
Have you heard her talk about where her seats were in Anaheim?
No.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
My seats in Anaheim were the last row of the upper section, like nosebleed seats. Okay, but nobody was behind me.
Oh,
Nobody ever
right.
spilled their beer behind me. Nobody's yakking behind me. There weren't kids kicking my seat. There weren't, I could stand up the entire game, which was very important to me. I want to if my team is on the ice, I'm going to be standing up. So
You would like to be standing up. You
I
don't stand
would.
up in front of people.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
Of
okay.
course, I'm not rude, but I want to be standing up. So, and I had a huge spot next to me. So I was like, most of the seats, when the aisle seats, there was like a pillar right next to it, and you were just like, there was somebody sitting there. But I was next to an elevator service door, so there was this whole area. People would come up and visit me. I had kids that would come up and like watch the game, and it was really
Well,
family. And
I watched one game in Anaheim at, before she moved up here. We went and saw a game there, and those seats are good.
Yeah.
Like they're really good seats.
Yeah.
And even though
you
they are
can't hear the ice talk or anything, but you could see everything. You miss nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the really cool thing about sitting up high. I don't think that we want to sit up high.
No, we don't want to sit up that high.
Yeah,
We
because the
definitely-
Climate Pledge, like the nosebleed seats is a whole different ball
Yeah.
game. That's like scared to trip and fall and
Oh,
die.
yeah.
Have you
Some
been up
people
there?
felt like that with my
No.
seats. Some
Yeah.
people would go to my seats.
I don't think your seats were that
I don't
scary,
know,
but
I
yeah,
just have to be able to stand
the
up.
upper level and Climate Pledges. But like you said, I don't think we're filling the arena, so I don't think there's any reason to even think about those upper level seats quite yet. So
Yeah.
And I think they'll give us a chance to go in and walk around and see, do you want them here? Do you want to
Oh, do
sit
they
in
do
the-
that?
yeah,
That's
for
what they
season
did
ticket
with-
holders.
Yeah, that's what they did in
Yeah.
Anaheim.
Perfect.
Whenever they opened it up and they're like, oh, do you want to change your seats? You would come in and these seats are available, these aren't available, and you could go. Maybe they won't, but I think that would be a good idea for us to, really pick out seats and have a chance to look around and see what vendors are near us, where the bathroom is, if you
We
can
have to sit
stand
near the
up.
coffee.
Okay, I don't know if this is gonna get me canceled, but
Oh, it won't get you canceled.
I feel like the food in Climate Pledge is not nearly as good as the food in T-Mobile.
That's funny. So we don't eat at the arena because we eat weird, but like I do drink coffee, and that's my biggest thing is like Climate Pledge. You can get coffee. You can get Starbucks coffee. Climate
yeah.
Pledge. So that makes me happy.
Decaf? Do we get decaf?
I do. They have
Yes,
decaf.
they have
Yes,
decaf.
they have decaf for the evening.
They don't
ones.
have decaf at T-Mobile though.
Yes.
I was searching for it.
Yeah.
Hey,
So what's
they
the-
just-
What's the food that you like at T-Mobile that they
Bro,
don't
the
have
food is crazy. So first of all, they got like Japanese curry. They literally have Japanese curry, bro.
at T-Mobile?
At
Okay.
T-Mobile, bro.
I believe you.
It's
I
so
believe you.
good. They introduced this new thing this year where it's like a corn dog that's dipped in cheese and then it's dipped in blue Takis. I don't know what it's called. I think it's called like a Blue Dog Mariners.
I don't know.
Cup.
It sounds disgusting.
No, but it's actually no. It is, but it's actually good. Though.
Okay, I believe you.
It's disgustingly good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got like the garlic fries.
Yeah, the garlic, but I feel like they have garlic
David
fries
was not interested in
everywhere.
that.
Do they have garlic fries at Climate Pledge though?
I don't know.
I-
Again, we don't eat.
Oh yeah, I
we're
don't
back-
think they do.
The only thing that we get at Climate Pledge is popcorn and ice cream for the kids because that's what the kids
Yeah.
want. But we don't eat the arenas.
Yeah.
That's just. But that's us. We're weirdos, so
Yeah.
I get it. Other people care about that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So honestly, the best food I've ever had is at the Rainiers Rainiers game. They have a really awesome salmon salad. It's delicious.
But yeah, what I want at Climate Pledge is I want like Kraken themed things or like PWHL Seattle. Like once we get a name, like I want
Okay.
themed items. Like give me
Okay.
something ridiculous,
Okay, like a blue corn.
like a
dog.
blue corn dog.
If like a tentacle shaped corn dog, that'd be super
Oh,
cool.
they should serve octopus or something.
I don't think Detroit would let them, would they?
Do you know about
Yeah,
octopus?
yeah.
Wow. I'm really
Everyone knows.
Everyone
That's
knows
just because I'm
except-
from Michigan, though.
I know, but she acts like it's like the most known thing. People sneaking octopuses into the arena, octopi into the arena.
It's not octopi, actually.
Is it not?
It's not.
It's
I
octopus.
heard the whole thing about that. Yeah,
Okay, I believe you.
because it's a Greek word or something. I can't
Mm.
remember it, but yeah,
Okay.
I don't know.
Is there any other?
Yeah, where do you want the PWHL to expand to?
Oh gosh. Well, I don't care now with Seattle has a team. Like that's all I care about. Like all I cared about. As soon
Yeah.
as we figured out that they were expanding, I was like, Seattle has to get a team. That's all I care about. Like, so for me, I think obviously getting it off just the East Coast vibe is going to help because watching games at 4 p.m. is annoying for those of us on the West Coast because some of us aren't even done with work at 4 p.m. to be able to watch a hockey game. So I would like to see not necessarily more West Coast. I mean,
How south do you want them to go?
I don't want Dallas to get a team.
Okay.
It's just how I feel about Dallas. I would love more teams in the middle of the country. I think that'd be great. Yeah, why not?
Colorado.
Colorado should definitely get a team.
Mhm.
Detroit's super salty they didn't get a team now. So Detroit should get a team if they have a good showing. The problem is that they're going to match it USA, Canada every single time.
Do you think they will?
We're going to get it run out of Canadian cities
Here's
that can host a PWHL team. Not that there's plenty of cities in
Plenty of
Canada.
cities.
I'm just saying that are going to be able to, have the fan base for a
Okay.
PWHL team.
What's your take?
my take is that the Canadian fan bases are way stronger. My other take is that when it comes to PWHL, fan base is not their issue. I honestly feel like they have big fan bases in a lot of places. Their issue is infrastructure because NHL can afford to build a new arena.
So they
We
need someplace
cannot
we
afford-
need someplace to play.
Yeah, we need
Well, and I think that's
infrastructure.
what I'm saying is that there's going to be a lot of places. It's going to be hard to expand outside of the major cities in Canada
Right.
because eventually you're going to run out of arena space in those. And so I feel like the US has more infrastructure as far as like arenas go too.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, how many NHL teams are there in the US versus Canada?
I don't know.
Well, it's disproportionate, right?
Oh yeah. There's a
Yeah.
lot more
There's way more
US.
US.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying is like we've got all these NHL arenas all over the US that we could potentially share.
Right.
Right. And that's not the same in Canada. Not that there's not a ton of hockey rinks in
There
Canada
are.
because there are a ton of hockey rinks in Canada. It's just that they're looking for larger venues, which it seems like they are. Seattle, Vancouver.
I think- You know what? I think you're right. Well, here's my take. I think that what I've seen is I feel like there's a lot of like medium-sized arenas in Canada.
Right.
Mm.
Well, and there's a
So-
lot of minor. I mean, like that's the thing is like we were huge fans of the Canadian Hockey League this past year, and they play everywhere, but you're looking at like less than 10,000 seat arenas because they're smaller arenas, it's smaller crowds, but there's a ton of them in lots
Yeah.
of little towns all over Canada. Kamloops.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Medicine Hat.
Here's my take.
Okay.
So circling back to the infrastructure thing,
Yeah.
Quebec City has an empty NHL rink. That was the big thing
Why does Quebec City have it
'Cause
empty?
Quebec left. Quebec
because their
Canadians.
team left.
Okay.
Yeah.
So-
So Colorado.
I have no
Yeah.
idea.
That
So that's the Avalanche now.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So they have an empty rink, and then just from fan base. So of all the takeovers,
But again, that puts us more on the East Coast.
know,
Which I'm
I
just like,
know.
I mean,
And if they do divisions,
They
that
gotta
makes you
get
think
more
that they're
pe-
going to want to do more or less.
Yeah, they're gonna have to get more out in the West. I just think for expanding a fan base, and this is the way just my brain works. It's like you've got to diversify
Mhm.
amongst, because having everything on the East Coast made sense for the first 2
Mhm.
seasons. Travel was cheaper. You know, you could get a really strong knit community. You could hype it up everywhere else and get excited about it. But you had your people that would travel, and you could travel in between the cities, you know, where the teams were, except for Minnesota, really. I mean, all the other teams were close enough together that it would be easy to drive if you wanted to. So I think, like, yes, we knew if they expanded out west, they were going to do both of us out here, which is what they did. But I think they're going to have to get more. They're going to have to get more west.
Here's my real take:
Okay.
is that they should expand to Raleigh.
Okay.
Really? Go that
Because-
far south?
Yes, because out of all the stops I went to, that crowd was the best.
Okay.
And I don't know what the infrastructure situation is there, so that's why I can't speak to it. But like,
Well, the Hurricanes is a pretty new NHL team, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
they have a Stanley Cup, don't they? Maybe I'm tripping.
I
I don't know
think
any.
so.
Okay, I don't know anything
I
about.
think so.
Okay, I don't know anything about NHL. Maybe they don't. I don't know anything.
You don't
about
have to be the NHL guru.
I mean, I do. I feel like I am a little bit, but I don't think the.
Okay, maybe
Hurricanes
they
have won
don't.
it.
But I feel like they're a pretty new-ish.
Yeah, they're newer. I mean, 20 years maybe.
Okay.
Inside of 20 years.
They haven't been around for,
No.
Red Wings.
Which is original 6.
That's
so.
what I'm saying.
No, they're not that. But when I went there, like that crowd was freaking hype.
Yeah.
Like they were more hyped than Seattle. Sorry, Seattle, but we were not that hype. Like we were a little hype, but
Yeah.
bro, in Raleigh, that crowd was crazy. They were going wild for the Frost, and
That's-
Frost was not even their team. Like I
And
felt like I
that's
was at a
even a-
Frost game.
That's a college town too.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, right.
It's in the triangle, so Raleigh, Durham.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, so,
I mean,
like,
there's a lot of, just a lot of sports.
Yeah.
A lot of sports in general.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think they could expand anywhere and probably be successful. For me, I would like to see just more across, time zones.
I think you're right about that.
Not,
Now I don't.
not all on the east.
I don't want to make Quebec City people mad, but now I'm like, maybe they shouldn't go to Quebec City.
I don't know.
Calgary.
Okay.
I don't know anything about Calgary.
It's definitely. I don't think it's in Pacific time.
No, I think it's
Maybe it
mountain.
is. Maybe it's mountain.
I think it's
very
mountain time,
close, so
yeah.
maybe-
Well, again, if they did like Calgary, Denver,
Yeah.
that would be another like kind of middle of the road. I mean, I don't know. Like again, I don't know if they're going to be I don't know if they're interested in keeping it, equal teams between Canada and US. I think it's cool. I think it's awesome that we have equal teams between Canada and US right now. I just don't know if they're going to be interested in continuing that
Yeah.
if there is lacking infrastructure elsewhere. So
Right.
I wonder if they're gonna do a takeover game in Portland. I feel like
Mm.
they should do a takeover game in Portland.
where would they play?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Are there no ice rinks in Portland?
Well, no, there's
Uh,
the one
Portland.
where the Winterhawks play.
Yeah, the Winterhawks.
But that's not a
gotta be
very
about
big
10
arena.
Oh,
minutes.
never
Yeah,
mind.
it's not a very big arena.
Sorry.
Where did the
Portland.
Super?
Portland Trailblazers.
Oh, the
They
Trailblazers.
could maybe play in that building.
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know enough about.
I didn't even
Portland.
know they had hockey at the Tacoma Dome. Like they used to play hockey in the Tacoma
Yeah, there was what was a minor league
Dome.
team?
Western Coast WCHL, Western Coast Hockey League, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I know.
It's old.
It's old. Yeah.
Yeah. Folded.
So I don't know. That's my opinion, but we'll see. And that's the show. Tune in next time for another episode of Gloves Off Seattle.